Dirk Bogarde, I managed to get a sneak preview copy of your new novel, A Gentle Occupation. So I haven't had a thoroughly good read, but I like what I see very much indeed. It has overtones of Graham Greene, the early bit.
Gosh, that's
than
a
which
very
there's
high
no higher
compliment.
praise.
No higher praise. Thank you very much. Well, it was a job to do. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll read it all. Will you?
I will indeed. It's set in an island off Java at the end of the war, in a sort of peacetime war, isn't it?
Yes,
Why did you choose that location for your first fiction?
Well, it was a time that I spent there. The rest of the book is not autobiographical. A Gentle Occupation. You mean A Gentle Occupation,
yes.
The book? Yeah. No, it was because I was there in that 1 year, which was a civil war, and it seemed such an extraordinary thing to have forgotten. It's so particular now because the same situation still applies 30 years later, So I thought as a background to a novel, it would be a good way to start something that was new.
You go to some pains to say that the characters are all imaginary, but I fancy that in Rook there is something of you, isn't there?
No, nothing at all of me, unfortunately, except that he's an actor, because I didn't know what it was like to be a chartered accountant, or, otherwise they made him a chartered accountant.
His flashbacks to childhood had something of your autobiography about them, I thought.
Bringing in the nanny, yes, I suppose so. They have a flashback. The only thing that the hero of the book and I share is the army number, which was my own army number.
It's like you always remember your co-op number.
That you never forget.
Writing is a lonely trade, whereas acting, by and large, if you're in work, that is fairly gregarious. Have you got accustomed to the solitariness of the writer's life?
Well, it isn't solitude, you see, because you're never alone. After all, there are 14 characters in A Gentle Occupation, and I was never without them for 14 months. So I had them all battering at me in my head all day long and all night long. So it's not lonely. You are alone because you must work alone and concentrate. But I had all my playmates who I invented, and they were there all the time.
You're still doing films, of course, with interesting directors, but have you got the stage, which is where you started, entirely out of your system?
Oh, yes. I would never go back to the theatre again now. The routine of it would kill me. And there's nothing I really like to do, and I like to go to bed early, so what's the point?
So does film acting still interest you, or will you ditch that eventually?
No, I would never ditch it. It might ditch me. That's a different thing altogether. But I would do it. I'm getting older, and it depends what parts come, so... I can afford to be choosy now because I've got another profession, I hope, if the book works, that I can fall back on. So,
is there another novel in the works?
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about it?
No, except that it's totally different from this. It's not a war novel. It's set today, and it's about contemporary life and about people who suffer from self-deception.